What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Nate here from Out of the Basement, joined with Connor.
I have returned.
It's great to see him back. It's since The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, and opinions have changed on that movie.
So much has changed since The Last Jedi.
But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We are going to be doing a spoiler review discussion. We're going to kind of do like a beat by beat of the movie and kind of just talk about certain things because right off the bat, I just want to say that I actually really enjoyed Infinity War, which was surprising to me.
Yeah, and I think actually overall it's just interesting looking at sort of, we've had many ups and downs with the MCU, and even, the way we felt about Avengers when it came out versus now, it's interesting.
So let's get into the review. Of course, like I said, we're going to go beat by beat. Mm-hmm. So I have literally 6 pages. I wrote a 6-page synopsis of just little bits of the movie that we can go through and just kind of talk about it a little in depth, like the old days.
Yeah.
This is like an old episode of the podcast. So go ahead, grab your favorite flavor of Mountain Dew, get something to eat, get a snack, sit down, relax, have a good time. We're going to talk about Infinity War. So the movie starts right out where the end credit scene of Thor Ragnarok ends.
Which was kind of... I knew that going into it. I didn't know it was going to start there necessarily, but it was a oh shit moment.
Yeah. I saw the end credits of Thor Ragnarok many times because it's no secret I work in a movie theater. So I knew the ending. So that's why I was like, if someone was like, oh,
yeah,
how do you know that? Like, that's why. I saw it a billion times. Everyone's dead.
Which is fucked up. I mean, because the whole point, the whole thesis in Thor Ragnarok, it's, it's like, you're not the god of hammers, you're the god of thunder. Asgard's not a place, it's a people. There's all these things that, like, happen in that movie that it's like, okay, cool, there's, like, it's fucked up, but there's still hope. And then Thanos comes in and is like, nope.
So... Like, all of the main characters were on that ship, right, from Thor Ragnarok? Like, the big rock guy and...
That's... Okay, well, I'm really, because Korg is actually... It's like, Korg is a great character, and Valkyrie, and I was like, no! But part of me kind of hopes that they, because I think Thor says half his people are dead, so there's a possibility maybe there was a refugee, another, like an escape pod or something. I'd like to think we'll see those characters pop up again, because if not, it's kind of a waste. Though it would be like, holy shit, you know.
I would feel a little bit disappointed if, like, everyone loved Thor Ragnarok and they just kind of undid it. They kind of do undo a lot of Thor Ragnarok, from what I know anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, they really do, but it also... They undo it, but also in the same sense, it's sort of between that movie and this movie, Thor is probably the most powerful Marvel superhero at this point.
He got a buff. He got a big power
buff. Well, he gets a buff in Thor Ragnarok, but then it's like, oh shit.
That's what I noticed, was like watching Infinity War, I was like, Thor is literally like stronger than everyone now, which he always should have been.
Yeah.
But they were just like, throw him in the corner.
Well, they kind of took a play in Ragnarok from sort of the Wonder Woman playbook, where it's like her gauntlets are a powerful thing, but actually without them she's even stronger, and they kind of do that with Mjolnir and Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
But then with this movie, they kind of like, okay, well, that's true, but...
Now we're going to make him even stronger.
Yeah.
So, Thanos is questioning Loki about the Tesseract. Hulk sort of comes out of...
I do love that Loki uses the banner, this Tony Stark line on Thanos.
Yeah.
Like, we have a Hulk. Great arc for that character.
For real. And right off the bat, you're like, okay, Hulk versus Thanos, what's going to happen? Hulk just gets destroyed.
There's like 30 seconds, and it looks like he's got kind of the upper hand. And then when Thanos' right hand man is like, "Let him have his fun," he's like, "Oh,
right." And like in my mind, watching the movie, I was like, "Yeah, Hulk's about to do some damage." And then I was like, "Hulk is not about to do damage."
Well, then Thanos does to Hulk what Hulk did to Loki.
Yeah, and you're just like, that's a really neat callback. That was a really neat moment.
Yeah.
So. Hulk gets destroyed. Thanos is about to put the finishing blows on him, but then Heimdall saves the day.
In the clutch
with the Bifrost, sends Hulk back to Earth. And so But at that cost, Heimdall dies.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah. And I was just like, ooh, straight up killing Heimdall, which kind of sucks because I really liked Idris Elba.
Especially, again, after Ragnarok, like, damn, that character is cool.
Oh, like, does he have, like, an arc in that movie?
Yes.
Okay, that's even better.
Yes.
I just love Idris Elba as an actor.
Yeah, he's, like, the only character from the original Thor movies that really, like, is done justice.
Right. Even the minor moments in Thor 1 when he's got that big, ridiculous gold costume on, you're like, why is he the coolest?
But Heimdall with fucking dreadlocks is like, man, that's badass.
Yeah. So it really sucks to see him go.
Yes.
That is definitely one of the, like, 4 confirmed deaths in the movie.
Yeah.
But they don't spend any time on that. This movie's pace is breakneck.
It's you feel like you can't breathe sometimes.
Yeah. It's just scene after scene, and the way that the story is set up and how it follows each character's, it's like you said when you were walking out, it's just climax the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it works. It doesn't feel like a rushed mess. It doesn't feel like something like Justice League.
I think it's everything a movie called Infinity War needs to be.
Yeah.
And like, you know, before the fucking title crawl, even not even the title crawl, before the title of the movie pops up, you know, you've got Banner Hulk turned back into Banner in fucking Doctor Strange's place, and Thanos is coming.
Yeah.
What an epic fucking beginning, and they've gotten really good at those intros just being fantastic.
Yeah, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. So, Thanos gets the Space Stone from the Tesseract after he tortures Thor. He's like gonna burn him alive, or he's like doing something crazy to him. It's like melting his... Is he, right? Like
some shit. It looked fucked up.
Yeah, I was just like, oh god. So
they're really mutilating Thor.
Yeah, they're really enjoying that. So Loki eventually is like, okay, I'll tell you where it is, and then of course Loki tries to kill Thanos. Doesn't work. And the first major death of the movie is Loki,
which we've seen Loki die now twice.
Yeah,
like,
but Thor's line where he's like, "I think this time it was for real." I think that's definitely the cue to the audience to say, "No, Loki really is dead."
Technically, I think 3 times prior, if you count a certain cameo in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
Which I will not spoil.
All right, cool. So that was the first shock of the movie. I'm sure fangirls.
But also, I love Loki's arc is just, like, you can't jump back and forth between bad guy, good guy that much. And they ended with, it's like, no, okay, he's a dick, but he's, like, whatever.
At the end of the day, Thor's his brother, and and, like, he says the lines of, like, how he's an Asgardian.
Yeah.
So you can tell that he chose his fate, and so there it was. Fangirls are probably very upset.
Yeah.
Everyone loved Loki. So it cuts to Tony and Gwyneth Paltrow. She's back. The paycheck was good enough.
Can't stop me collecting the paycheck.
Like, as soon as I saw her, I was just like, oh, they finally offered her the right amount of money, huh? So Tony and Pepper are confronted by Doctor Strange and Bruce Banner and everyone's favorite character from Doctor Strange, Wong. And they give exposition about what's going on, like who Thanos is, what he's coming for, and that Tony basically needs to help.
But the concept that Banner has to tell Tony, look, Thanos is coming. Doesn't matter who you're talking to.
Yeah. Because Tony, he's like kind of resistant.
Well, I think the thing is, this movie really does clear up. Captain America was right. Team Cap was the right side.
Yeah.
And Tony needs to fucking deal with that.
Yeah, and you can totally tell he's not like a sore loser, but he just you can tell that he kind of has some sort of like regret for what happened.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is really weird to see in a Marvel movie, a previous movie having an effect on the sequel, like not in some like real trivial way though, you know. So, and then the exposition about the Infinity Stones is interrupted when the ring ship shows up, which, with the children of Thanos, and I had to do some real good Googling to figure out what their names were.
Okay.
Because their names are not said at all. So
Squidward.
Yeah, so Ebony Maw, which is the Squidward guy, and then Cole Obsidian, which is the bigger guy.
Yeah.
They show up. And instantly, right off the bat, we get one of our first fight scenes of the movie, which is Iron Man and Doctor Strange and trying to transform Bruce Banner versus Ebony and Cole Obsidian.
Yeah, and for me, the trying to Bruce Banner, I think some people are really angry that He's not like that Hulk's only in the beginning. But, you know, they pulled Mark Ruffalo aside because they're not going to do solo Hulk movies. They fit the storyline he wanted into, you know, Ragnarok, this movie, and the next Avengers.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, in Ragnarok, Hulk refuses to give up control. He's like, no, he's been stuck as Hulk for 2 years. And, like, Hulk, he's afraid that he's never going to turn back. After getting his ass beat, Hulk's like, no, fuck you, I'm not coming out again. Like,
right. Like, and that's what I kind of assumed in the movie was that the ass beating from Thanos was enough to make Hulk be like...
And because, you know, like in Ragnarok, it's the first movie Hulk talks, and they give him this very childlike demeanor, and it's sort of... I love that carried over. It's like, yeah, he's a scared kid. Like, he just had his ass beat for the first time ever.
Yeah.
He's not gonna... You know what I mean?
Also, you know, props to Marvel for finally just being like, yeah, Hulk can talk. Like,
yeah.
It's been like that for so long.
Like, everyone has been so afraid. I remember Lou Ferrigno talking about how, like, that was eventually the plan. But then they just never, you know, they get canceled before then or whatever.
Like,
like in the 80s.
Right.
Why is that so difficult? Like,
I don't get it.
It works.
Like, it's clearly worked. It's worked for a long time in comic books. So, yeah, like I said, reasons unexplained, but thank you for explaining that to me. Cleared that up a little bit. And then we get our introduction to Spider-Man and our Stan Lee cameo early as hell in the movie. He's the bus driver, and of course Peter, you know, create a distraction, and I'm just like, I don't think that would... I feel like someone would be seeing you.
But he doesn't even... I do love, like, Ned doesn't even hear Peter. He's just like, oh my god, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, it makes sense that he would react that way.
Yeah, because he sees the ship in the background, right? Yeah.
But it is so satisfying when that Spider-Man costume joins the fight. Yeah. Like, the interactions with him, you know, kid, when did you get here? I love it. Like... Again, that was Spider-Man.
Right. It's great to... And that's one of the parts, although there are some parts where I'm still just like, I really don't like how, like, Tony is, like, his dad almost in a way. But when he first shows up, I really liked it. And, of course, he doesn't really do a whole lot anyway because he's still learning and his abilities are new. But at the end of the day, Ebony captures Doctor Strange and Obsidian is teleported away by Wong and he gets his arm cut off, which I thought was going to play a little bit more into something later. I thought the Children of Thanos in general were just going to be more than nameless bad guys to have, like, mini boss battles for.
Well, like, Ebony kind of is somewhat more, I think, but he's the only one.
But then he's the first one to die.
Yeah.
And you're just like, he was the most interesting character. Yeah. I don't know, I thought I wouldn't say it's necessarily a negative, but... They were totally just there to be the mini boss battles, something to build up to Thanos. Yeah. So they capture Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man tries to save him.
It's weird because Doctor Strange is such a powerful character, but I feel like he gets overpowered relatively.
He straight up got nerfed in this movie. I feel like, especially with like the time. Like, why isn't he just using the time stone? Yeah, he's being like, all right, go back in time a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's probably explained to some point that he doesn't want to use it that much. But either way, Spider-Man tries to save him, and of course, Tony has to bail him out yet again. Slaps the iron spider suit on him, which I just gotta say. The CG is bad.
For the Iron Spider suit.
And Iron Man's suit. The way that they made... Like, I can clearly tell that it was intentional, the way... Because it's like nanotechnology now. So the suit just comes out of nowhere for Tony, which it looks cool, but it's like got this weird shine to it that... It just makes it look a little too artificial.
It's kind of... It's because they kind of build off... It's almost like Tony's catching up to Wakanda technology, because that's... in Black Panther, that's how his suit works now too.
Right, yeah, I saw that part. Then it comes out of the necklace.
Yeah. So I think, but I do agree, it doesn't look... To me, the Iron Man suit hasn't looked as good as it did in the first movie.
Well, since then. Yeah, as soon as they stopped using the practical suit and then just started CGing Robert Downey Jr.'s head, it looks bad. And that continues into this movie, except for this time it's Iron Man, it's Spider-Man, and it's... And Hulk, and War Machine. And all of them have bad floating head syndrome. And I just wish that Marvel would get a different special effects team. And even Thanos in certain scenes looks incredible. The detail on it is insane. And then other scenes, he just looks like a purple blob. And it's just uneven. The CG is very uneven throughout the movies. And like I was saying, I just don't think that Tony's suit looks very good, and the way it shines just looks very fake.
I like the design quite a bit for that suit.
I like the design, but in the context of the movie, I just don't think it's that great. And I actually have come around on the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
Like, when we first saw it in Homecoming, I remember all of us being like, fuck that.
Yeah.
But this time, it's a little bit better.
Still like the other suit better. Looks cooler.
Yeah. So, Tony tries to send Peter packing, but of course, Peter hangs on because he wants to be a hero. He wants to be a part of the Avengers more than anything.
Well, I do love the line, can't be a friendly neighbor at Spider-Man if there's no neighborhood.
Right.
Like, that's a great...
And, Tony pretty much has nothing to say.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, he's got a point. So, and then it cuts back, and Bruce Banner picks up Tony's phone to call Cap.
I do love that it's, the phone that Cap left him at the end of Civil War.
The flip phone.
Yeah.
And they make a couple jokes about it being a flip phone, which I thought was pretty funny. So then it cuts to the Guardians, which instantly right away I was like, okay, how are the Guardians going to feel without James Gunn? And I'm happy to say that it was pretty good, pretty in line with how they act.
Yeah, no, what I love is the way it jumped around. You got the flavor of all those things, in their scenes, they felt like, their individual movies, and the Guardians, yeah.
The Russo brothers really nailed that. So they're going after a distress signal, which we find out is the ship that Thor was on, and they find Thor. He's alive in space because their ship blows up, and at that scene, kind of going back a little bit, I thought they killed Thor too. I was just like, that's it? Because I don't know why, I just didn't think about him being able to breathe in space, but he is a god, so why wouldn't he be able to? And like we were saying, Thor really got a buff in this movie. He seems really strong.
Yeah.
So there's some witty banter back and forth. They're all. I really like the dynamic between Thor and Rocket. How he keeps calling him a rabbit.
Thank you, kindly rabbit.
Yeah, and even Groot. I thought teenage Groot was gonna be pretty annoying, but it's kind of funny. He's kind of one note in this movie, but at the same time, you're just like.
Well, I also love the idea that teenage Groot meets Thor and really looks up to Thor.
Right.
And he's like, damn, that's that's his hero all of a sudden.
Right. He it kind of changes how he feels, and you see it later when he contributes to building Stormbreaker.
Spoilers.
Spoilers in the spoiler review. So Gamora has a secret. She knows where the Soul Stone is, which we find out later, but at the time we don't know what the secret is. But she makes a Star-Lord promise that he'd kill her if Thanos captures her, and so that she can't reveal the secret, which of course is you think this is gonna happen in the movie? It's one of those moments where you're like, okay, so when's this gonna come into play later?
I do want to point out really quick that there's the part where they point to they say that Star-Lord has gained weight.
Yeah.
It's you feel bad for him.
Right, especially because Chris Pratt in real life used to be he was a little bit bigger before, especially on Parks and Rec.
When Dave Bautista,
they end up splitting up. Thor, Rocket, and Groot go off to Nidavellir,
which I'd be down for a whole trilogy of just those three doing things.
Surprisingly awesome combination of characters. I really didn't see that coming. I was like, okay,
you did not see that coming?
Yeah. Well, because my idea of Thor the last time I saw him was what? That was Age of Ultron, right?
Yeah.
So my idea was still the Thoric, the stoic, kind of very serious Thor that only had a joke every once in a while.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't expecting their humor to bounce off each other so well.
Chris Hemsworth, his comedic timing is really good.
Yeah, I agree. I never thought I would be like Chris Hemsworth, really funny.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, and Gamora go to nowhere to find the Reality Stone because they know the Collector has it. Thor, Rocket, Groot go to Nidavellir, right? You think that's how it's pronounced?
Let's say that.
Yeah, Nidavellir. They're going to forge Stormbreaker, which is a weapon that can potentially, hint, hint, wield the power of the Bifrost.
But it's then it's basically Mjolnir like 3.0.
Right. It's like half hammer, half axe. It's it's the weapon he has in like the Ultimate comics.
Yeah, it's really badass.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. Cut back to the ship. Ebony is torturing Doctor Strange. There's a lot of torture in this movie. Did you notice that?
Yeah, there really is.
I was like,
it's kind of upsetting.
like almost every character in the movie gets tortured in like some way, and you're just like,
well, especially the Doctor Strange torture sequence. You're like, oh, that's fucked up. Like thinking about like it's like his origin and stuff, and he's got.
And it's like extreme acupuncture with like big ass needles, and you see it in the trailer. They're like going through his face. Because obviously Ebony wants to know where the Time Stone is, but of course Spider-Man and Iron Man intervene, and for the most part in this movie, I thought the humor was reserved, which I appreciated, because a lot of criticism for me of the Marvel movies is the amount of like dad humor, the cringy jokes, like a lot of it fall really flat for me. And this is when, they're fighting, they're all having a battle, and Spider-Man they do the same joke as Civil War, which I was like, really? The same joke? Where he makes a movie reference, and he's like, have you ever seen that really old movie, Aliens? Like, no, Peter, no one has seen one of the most pop cultural significant movies of the past, 35 years. No one's seen that. And they did it with Star Wars, which was way worse.
Yeah.
At first, in Civil War. And so the repeated joke, I was like, total eye-rolling moment. So they end up using the plan from Aliens, and Ebony Maw gets sucked out into space.
It's a cool moment, though.
It is. But I was just like the same joke, and it's not, I wouldn't mind that joke if it was actually something that was a little bit more obscure.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
Not like Empire Strikes Back and Aliens.
Yeah, like the most iconic sci-fi films of all time.
Right. You're like, it's just so... Just even when I was young, I knew what those movies were. Especially Aliens. It's not that hard to figure out. So that joke was a real eye roller for me. But Spidey legs, they're here.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was a little bit on the fence. We got some Lego spoilers before the movie came out, but doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be the translation.
Yeah.
So when the legs popped out, I was like, fuck yes. Just like the Iron Spider suit.
I think that's the thing. With Homecoming, I was really upset with the fact that the normal Spider-Man costume is an Iron Man Jr. suit.
Right.
I'm cool with it with the Iron Spider, because that's in the title of the series.
Right.
That's what you expect, you know what I mean?
That is the suit. And, in the comic books, as most of you guys probably know, it's straight up red and gold, too. So...
Yeah.
It's even more apparent. So now we cut to Scarlet Witch and Vision, and they are chilling in Scotland.
And he's human.
But they learn about the attack on TV, and then they are attacked by Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive.
Which everyone before this movie came out was like, oh, Corvus Glaive, that's Peter Dinklage. Because there's the one clip where you hear the voice. That's Peter Dinklage.
Nope.
Every fucking nerd said that.
Right. Turns out you were wrong.
No offense.
Sorry, comic book resources. So they're fighting, and Corvus is trying to remove the Mind Stone from Vision, but then, boom, out of nowhere, attacked by Cap, Falcon, and Black Widow.
This was one of those moments that I was just so glad to be seeing the movie, on the big screen, opening night, because... that first appearance of Cap, and you see the shadow, and from the trailer you know what it is, but it's still so badass when that train passes.
Right.
And everyone fucking erupted in applause and was cheering, and it was it's that energy, I fed off of it, you know what I mean? I was like, I need this.
Yeah, I wish I could have saw the movie with an audience, but I saw it just by myself.
That experience was just, that moment Cap was on screen was oh fuck yes.
Yeah. But yeah, when that scene happened, I felt the chills rise up for me, and I'm like, damn, Cap is back with the long hair and the beard. Yeah. Which is awesome.
He's basically Nomad, but a more practical, cool version where he just kind of rips the star off of his suit.
Right, he's just nope. He's Daddy America in this movie. And then, so they're all fighting. It's a really cool scene. The action in this movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
I still would say that the action is not nowhere near as good as like Winter Soldier, but I think the Russo brothers just have a real good knack for like hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. And I also just love because the Russo brothers handled Winter Soldier, obviously, and the dynamic that they built up between Cap and Black Widow carried into this movie. I love that. I mean, those two on screen together are fantastic.
Yeah. In
a non-sexual way, which is,
They're just really good friends, all right?
But, like, you buy that.
Right. You're just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's nice. Makes me want a Black Widow movie. Where's it at? So, after that attack, Black Widow injures Corvus and Proxima Midnight. I know these characters. They retreat because Corvus has a pretty bad injury. So they all head back to the Avengers base where War Machine is there and he's talking to, what's his face? Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
And
played by Lost in Space, William Hurt.
Yes. You may remember the hit film.
With Matt LeBlanc.
It was good. That part was so cool.
It's the only cool part.
Gary Oldman turns into like a weird spider at the end. You're just like, what the fuck is this? The Lost in Space. So,
or don't.
Probably don't. So, Thunderbolt Ross wants War Machine to arrest him, but he's also clearly made his choice. And he's just like, yeah, I'll get right on that. Cancels the call. And then they all, figure out that they need to go to Wakanda.
I love the idea, though, too. Like, he tells just War Machine out of the suit by himself, arrest them.
Right? Like, all of them.
With his apparatus. Like
what? Like, yeah, all of them are just going to say, all right, you got me.
We didn't try that a movie ago. With a full army.
Clearly, General Ross did not watch Civil War.
Sorry.
And of course, Bruce Banner is there because they're going to try and go to Wakanda to remove the stone from Vision's head so they can destroy it, but remove it without killing him. And of course, as we learned, there's a lot of really high-tech stuff going on in Wakanda.
Yeah, well, it's established basically that Shuri, his little King T'Challa's little sister, she is the smartest character in the MCU. And she's also one of my favorite characters now.
Yeah, she seems cool, very charismatic.
Yeah.
So we get that, and then we cut back to Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, and Gamora arrive at Nowhere and already find Thanos interrogating the Collector. Which I was just like, dang, jumping straight into it. Like, This is the whole movie. Is like, there's none of those moments where they're like, we got to establish the planet. We got to show you some of, like, the kooky aliens that are on the,
Montage of the heroes moping.
Yeah. And then this movie, it's just like, nope, we're right there. They're in the Collector's chamber already.
It's, a lot of people will complain, rightfully so, that the first half hour of the first Avengers is boring.
Yeah.
This movie does not have that problem.
Right. It is 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it is just breakneck speed. So, of course, Gamora gets close to Thanos, and she actually kills him at first. And you're like... I mean, obviously, we're all like...
I wanted to hit the Staples button. Like, that was easy.
Right. Like, I was thinking, like, maybe it was, like, a clone, or maybe it wasn't, like... It was, like, this or that or something. But, of course, Thanos comes out and he's like, JK, I already have the Reality Stone.
Yeah. And
it shows Nowhere is just on fire. And a really cool moment. I liked the way that it revealed all of that. And they just kind of were like, oh... Shit.
Fuck.
Yeah. Of course, Star-Lord has to enact on his promise of trying to kill Gamora, and of course he doesn't. But, I mean, he at least pulls the trigger.
The interactions, like, when Thanos is like, you expect too much from him. Like, they really made Thanos just an interesting character to, you know what I mean? Like, It's definitely one of the most charismatic villains, even though he's fucking crazy.
I think out of anything, he's easily the best MCU villain. Yeah. Because he actually has some character development.
I think that's the thing, because right before this, too, I mean, people were saying that Killmonger in Black Panther was the best villain, and up to that point, I would probably agree.
Yeah.
But then you get Thanos, and it's just no, he is the biggest, he's the best, and it is his movie.
Yeah, which is awesome.
His interactions, though, just the way he talks to the heroes, or to his adversaries, it's just interesting. It sort of reminds me of, like, Blade Runner, almost. The speech at the end.
So, anyways, Thanos teleports away with Gamora, and then we get a little flashback to how Thanos found Gamora, and sort of the way that he, like, explained. You get a little explanation of what Thanos is about, and you find out that he's all about balance. He just likes to kill halves of things.
Portion control.
Yeah. When you really think about it, you're like, is Thanos' idea that crazy?
I mean,
think about Planet Earth. Just...
Nate Martin advocates mass genocide.
We're going there. But no, you know, Earth is overpopulated.
Yeah, it's a problem.
And there's no denying that there would be more resources if there was less people. That's just simple science. Not saying that I'm not condoning mass genocide. I'm not saying that.
Later we find clickbait articles. Like,
I've been exposed.
Small-time YouTuber advocates mass genocide.
But what I'm,
written by Connor.
I feel like I'm really poorly wording this.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, the concept is that he sees a problem, overpopulation. And he's like, look, you get rid of that, everyone thrives. Everyone that's left thrives. And it sucks for those people that die, but everyone else is good.
And it's, like, completely random. He doesn't, like, he's not just like, oh, let's kill all the poor people or let's kill all the rich people. He's just like, I'm just killing half of whoever. And that's what I'm going to do. And he sort of, he shields.
When he explains it to Kid Gamora and he's got the little knife.
Yeah.
And he's, like, balancing on and he makes her try it. But as, like, her people are being executed. No.
Yeah.
Don't look, like, oh, that scene is so intense.
Right. And it really adds that dimension of actually being able to see what Thanos and Gamora have together instead of, like, her just describing it.
Well, it's also, you see, like, she does care for Thanos too. Like, it's not
right. It
goes beyond this, like, hatred. It's more than that. It's much more interesting.
Complex characters in a Marvel movie? What are we watching?
Just the way he talks to her as a kid, you're like, damn, that's just intense.
Yeah. So, and then it cuts back to Thanos' ship. He's questioning Gamora about the location of the Soul Stone. And Gamora is lying, but we also see Nebula is getting tortured again with the torture. There she is. But that's Doctor Who. So again with the torture though.
Yeah, and that is fucked up.
She's like getting pulled apart, like her eye socket is coming out. All of her limbs are like extended. So, and it's really painful. And
I will say though, Karen Gillan as that character has come a long way because I didn't think like. There were a lot of moments in the first Guardians that I really cringed at her character. Like, just, it felt weird.
It was very one-dimensional.
And they've just really, starting in Guardians 2, they've really expanded that character and fleshed her out in a way that makes her real. And that makes the torture sequences just like, oh, that's fucked up.
And Karen Gillan's scream is just blood-curdling.
Yeah, no. I mean,
like,
yeah.
She really does sell the fact that she's in terrible pain, which I was like, oh, I really like
a long way since Oculus.
Yeah. I revisited that movie, though. It's not as bad as we once thought. And then Thanos is just like, JK, I know you're lying, dude, and just plays back a memory from Nebula's head of Gamora being like, yeah, I know where the Soul Stone is.
Wouldn't that just suck if people could do that? Like, with your head, like, hey.
Look, I know you're lying. There it is.
I'm totally going to lie to Nate about.
So, I can't remember for the life of me the name of the planet they go to.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I knew it until you said that.
Yeah, it's like I was blanking super hard writing these notes. So, they go to the planet, though, and then we get a character reveal, which is Red Skull.
I was so fucking happy to see Red Skull.
Me too.
And I couldn't believe it that it's not Hugo Weaving.
Yeah,
because it's a dead-on impression.
Right? And Red Skull is clearly all CG, so it's really just the voice. And apparently the guy that played him played a character on The Walking Dead.
Yeah. What is Hugo Weaving's name in Lord of the Rings?
Elrond.
Yeah, no, like you hear the voice, and then like my girlfriend turned to me and goes, Elrond. Like, so she clearly thought it was Hugo Weaving too.
Right, but I mean, we've all remember those couple of years ago when Hugo Weaving was like, I'm not acting for a paycheck anymore, and he stopped voicing.
Apparently it wasn't even about that. He just, the makeup process was like 7 hours, and he was like, fuck that.
But I mean, at this point, I mean, they just CG him. But we finally figured out where Red Skull's been all this time.
Do you think this takes him off the table to use again in like with this incarnation in a cat movie or in
I think it does.
I would love to see something.
Red Skull is a great villain.
Oh, up to that point, I think he was the best in the MCU. I mean, really, like Jeff Bridges in Iron Man was alright, but
Hugo Weaving is just a fantastic actor, and pretty much any movie he's in, you're just like, I buy it.
Yeah.
And you're literally like, they're wanting you to believe that this guy is an actual red skeleton man, and you're like, I buy it.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see him turn up, and he tells Thanos that he must trade a soul for a soul. Specifically, someone he loves.
And poor Gamora, like, she thinks, like, oh, okay, well, he's fucked.
Yeah, right?
And then it's, oh, no, she's gonna die.
She's like, joke's on me, Thanos actually cares about me. And yeah, that's the first, like, really big surprising death of the movie.
The green blood on the rocks is like, oh, that's fucked up. I was not expecting to see any blood. They
show the corpse too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, is because they could have easily shown him just tossing her off and then not shown the end result, but they do. So you know for a fact she is 100% dead. You see him with the Soul Stone, which I was like, wow.
Do you think they're going to keep her dead?
I hope so.
I mean, I think, I don't want to jump ahead, but there's a lot of deaths in this movie, and obviously all of them are not permanent.
Agreed.
But I'd like to think that everything that happens before the end is.
Yeah. I think especially, like we were saying earlier, with what Thor says about Loki, obviously Heimdall's not a real significant character, so you see him just get stabbed, and then Gamora, you see the dead body shot of her, like, sprawled out.
No, the Gamora shot, it was fucked up, and it's just the impact that'll have, when they do Guardians 3, if she's not in it, like, you are gonna feel that,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just her absence will be, I hope they don't replace the character.
No. But I do like the inclusion of, like, Mantis. Like, I really like Mantis. I think she's funny.
That's not a replacement, though, you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
she's just an addition.
I love Mantis. That's a fantastic character. Very fun to watch.
But, so, very sad moment, very unexpected. I'm glad, though, that Marvel's finally putting stakes in the movies, because that's another really big complaint I've had.
Nice medium rare.
Like, it's been so long in every single one of these movies, you just know no one's going to die, nothing bad's going to happen to anyone. Even something like in Civil War, where you're like, oh, War Machine's paralyzed now. And then at the end of the movie, they're like, nope, he's got robo-legs. Don't worry about that, kids. You know what I mean, though?
Well, that's even, like, I think, like, it's like something that pisses Joss Whedon off. I know for a fact, like, that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. exists.
Yeah.
Because, like, in his mind, he's like, no, Agent Coulson is dead.
So, back on Nidavellir, Thor meets a 10-foot-tall Peter Dinklage.
That is some of the weirdest shit ever.
Yeah.
I dug it. I laughed throughout. It felt like he was in an SNL sketch.
Right, like...
It specifically reminded me of when Peter Dinklage was on SNL. There's a sketch called Space Pants. The way he talked was very similar to the Space Pants sketch, which, if you've seen it, you've seen it. If not, that's cool.
I will say, though, it kind of just felt like they were like, oh, we can get Peter Dinklage in the movie, so we should. Because his character really didn't do anything. And especially with his... You find out that he's the one that made the Infinity Gauntlet, and Thanos encased his hands in some sort of unbreakable metal, so he can't be a blacksmith anymore.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And I do like that Marvel is sort of embracing the little bit more, like, outlandish things, like a giant person,
A giant dwarf, yeah.
Yeah, a giant dwarf, like...
like, they call him that, that's...
Yeah, that's what they call him in the movie.
Don't at me, bro.
But like, because you always see weird stuff like that, like giant space dogs or this or that in the Marvel comics, and they never really did that in the movies.
And I think that's, and I forgot to comment on this during the Red Skull scene, but it's it's stuff like that. Yeah, it felt like I was reading a Marvel comic in the best possible way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those like the color of it, just the visual, the idea of like Red Skull like telling the story of how he has spent the last however many years just stuck on this place.
Yeah, and the way that like in a comic book, they'll just nonchalantly characters show up. And in the movies, it's always been like a big pop moment with like a music score. And I feel like in this movie, they really did tone that back. And they're just like, there's just the heroes. And I think that added to the overall comic book feel of the movie.
But then I was still giddy as hell when those things happen.
Right.
You know?
It's like when you're reading, it's like when I'm reading a DC comic book and I see Swamp Thing in the background.
It's the thing, like, you know, with movies, the score tells you how to feel.
Right.
A lot of the time. And then when you don't line up with that, it doesn't work. When you're reading a comic, it's the hype of the moment, nothing else.
Right, there's no score, it's in your mind.
Yeah.
And I really think that just in general, they really nailed the comic book feel of the movie.
But as far as the Thor, you know, Peter Dinklage thing, a couple things here we should touch on. You know, Thor loses an eye in Ragnarok. Spoilers.
Gets replaced instantly. Rocket's just
now he's just David Bowie.
Yeah, Rocket's just
It
like...
looks cool. Thank you, kindly rabbit.
Right, he's just like, okay, that's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, all right.
But I don't care. Like, it works. I didn't think the eye thing was going to be permanent. My gut told me...
That would have been cool.
Yeah, I love the symmetry with Odin, but
yeah,
I think, you know, it's fine. All the stuff though, with, like that plot line, again, a lot of it does negate the thesis of Thor Ragnarok, but it's cool. I never suspected Thor was going to remain without a weapon for too long.
Right.
You know?
And especially when he clearly has other weapons at his disposal that aren't just Mjolnir.
Yeah.
So they end up crafting Stormbreaker, and Groot gives his arm to be the handle.
And that visual is so fucking cool of like the pieces gathering and tying together.
Yeah,
like,
that was awesome. And I was like, damn. Like,
well, I do love the callback to the first Thor movie, you know, because in the first Thor, you know, where he's human, then he gets, you know, hit by the Destroyer, and then the hammer flies through his hand, and then he heals, and he's a god again.
Yeah.
And like the callback, you don't see it, but just you see the hammer starting to move, and you know, because Peter Dinklage says he needs the axe because he takes a fucking dying star to the chest.
Right.
Like, he gets fucked. I also love the idea that like Thor uses Rocket's ship like a like Mjolnir, like he spins it and flies.
That's awesome.
I know, it was so cool.
So we're back in Wakanda with Black Panther, Cap, Black Widow, and Proxima Midnight and Obsidian show up, and the final battle begins. And of course, we get our token, generic, mindless alien creatures that have to be in every single superhero movie.
But these were way cooler than the Chitauri.
Yeah, definitely.
Visually.
Yeah, visually.
And the idea of them like killing themselves, they're like, we don't care if we die, we're gonna get through this thing.
Yeah, and they're trying to break through a barrier, and we also get Winter Soldier to show up.
The barrier was very Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
The Battle of Naboo.
That's instantly what I thought when the shield, the way the shield came up like it did. I was like, I was getting flashbacks. I was like, dude, Jar Jar's about to show up. But Winter Soldier shows up. He's got a brand new arm.
The new arm is so badass.
The new arm is awesome. However, I don't know, his costume is a little bland. More bland.
Now he's the White Wolf.
Yeah. It's a little bit more blander than usual.
And he's been using Wakandan oils to make his beard fuller.
Oh, that's a good boy. There's so many beards in this movie.
I know. I love Thor even comments on it. So you've copied my beard.
And Bruce Banner is in the Hulkbuster costume.
Because he can't turn into the Hulk.
And originally, what I thought was going to happen was it was going to be him as the Hulk in the Hulkbuster.
Like breaking through it?
No, like he was... like him as the Hulk wasn't strong enough, so he would have to be the Hulk and have the Hulkbuster armor on. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, because at the beginning of the movie, when he gets bested, I'm like, in my mind, I was instantly like, oh, that's the Hulk in the Hulkbuster. Like, what an ironic thing.
My thought was that he was going to be in the Hulkbuster, like, because in Ragnarok, like, once he's Banner, he doesn't want to turn back into the Hulk. He's afraid he'll never be Banner again. And I thought, like, he's going to do that, but he's going to get overtaken.
Yeah,
and then
break out of it. But that doesn't happen, and he stays in the Hulkbuster the whole time, which is cool.
And I love though his dialogue when he's like, this thing's already kicked the Hulk's ass before.
Yeah.
When he sends the guy flying with the arm, like,
it's awesome.
He has some really cool moments as Banner, and I love they've basically turned Bruce Banner into Larry David.
It's great though.
Yeah, no,
it
it's
works.
Fantastic.
Like, I love Mark Ruffalo, super likable actor. So more of him is what I'm about. So we're back to Tony, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. It's been a minute since we've revisited them. And they crash land on Titan, which is Thanos' homeworld. And the Guardians show up as well, and they start fighting each other, and it's a pretty cool battle. It's kind of nice, like a little cheeky hero versus hero thing going on, until they all figure out they're all on the same side.
You know Thor?
Yeah, you know Thor, and so it all clicks together. And Tony wants to do a plan to stop Thanos, but then Star-Lord is like, your plan sucks. We're doing my plan. And then on top of that, Doctor Strange uses the Eye of Agamotto. Is that what it's called?
Let's say that.
To see millions of outcomes, but only sees one true outcome. Now we're back in Wakanda. The battle rages.
How cool is Wakanda, though?
Dude, I love it. I think it's awesome. Black Panther's new costume, I thought it looked really weird at first, but it's grown on me. Like the way like how he has a nose now.
Yeah.
There's like a weird nose. I don't know, but yeah, I loved all the scenes in Wakanda, and
I mean, just like the army, the Kingsguard, like I love all of that. The culture is just interesting.
Which I thought was the main character of Get Out. Does his character die in Black Panther or something? Because I was kind of confused.
Are you worried about spoilers for that movie?
No.
He betrays T'Challa. He joins Killmonger. So.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where he was.
There's a civil war in Wakanda.
Okay.
And it's badass.
I was like, oh, I would like to see him, just because I like that actor. Like, Get Out is awesome.
Because he's actually Michonne from Walking Dead. You know, she's like the main Kingsguard. Yeah.
You're blowing my mind right now. I didn't even realize that.
They're lovers, and then
I thought she looked familiar.
Yep.
It's been so long since I've watched The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's who that is.
That's awesome. That's really cool for her.
She's amazing.
She shines. Yeah. I thought
she's great in Black Panther as well.
Yeah, I've seen a couple scenes of Black Panther, and I think
she's a great actress and singer, and something that's not Walking Dead is fantastic.
Right. And I like the way that she's sort of like, she's like almost overly serious, but also at the same time has some pretty good comedic relief.
You know, I expected a Starbucks.
Yeah. So I like the way her character is played.
Yeah.
So we get scenes of them all fighting, Winter Soldier shooting things with a gun.
Do you also just love, though, they're all running, and then you got Black Panther leading, and all of a sudden Cap's like, no, catches right up.
That's awesome.
It reminded me of, like, in Winter Soldier when Sam Wilson is running and Cap keeps lapsing him.
Yeah. And Captain America has his new, like, dual shields.
The Wakandan...
That are like they're kind of lame, but I kind of like it.
I dig them. I didn't like it at first, but I'm like, no. Also, even that line was in the trailer. The eruption when you know Black Panther was, get this man a shield. People were like, ah!
Right, yeah, and that's awesome. So the Hulk banner is battling with Obsidian. Eventually, Obsidian dies, gets shoved into the force field, whatever. Proxima is also crushed by the giant saw blade wheels that come out later.
Is that during the fight with Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, that's during the battle with Scarlet Witch. And did those things also, another episode 1, or just prequel alignment, no, they looked like the tanks!
Yeah, with the blue balls.
The droid army tanks, I was like...
With the blue balls.
I was like,
you know what I'm talking about.
I was like, what is up with the Star Wars prequel imagery? It just reminded me of the tanks.
Honestly, though, like when Scarlet Witch joins the field, and then, you know, then you've got Michonne from Walking Dead says, you know, why was she up there the whole time? Like, right. But that fight when, you know, it's Scarlet Witch, her, and
Proxima.
Yeah, like those three fighting her. I was like, oh, that's so badass.
Yeah.
Like.
That was a great fight.
Like, the only person missing was Valkyrie from Ragnarok. I'm like, oh, I want that movie.
Yeah, that would have been cool to see Valkyrie. It sucks that Thor's sort of group of friends is nowhere to be seen.
All of his friends, ever.
They're all dead.
which there's a speech about, and it's quite like, you're like, man, Thor really has lost quite a bit.
Yeah. So back on Titan, Thanos arrives, and the final fight on Titan begins,
which is fucking crazy.
And they're spending a lot of the time, they're figuring out that Thanos has to sort of like either close his fist or like snap his fingers to make the glove have an effect. So they're trying to prevent him from closing his hand with a bunch of different gadgets and this or that until they come up with the plan.
My favorite had to be Doctor Strange's cape.
Yeah, the cape was awesome. I did like Tony's like weird like Iron Man thing that like sort of like extended his hand.
Clamped it, yeah.
It was like a weird exercise thing.
It was like going like this.
But so finally Mantis jumps on his shoulder. And puts him in a subdued state using her abilities, and they try to begin removing the glove. However, Mantis is sort of like, he's grieving, he's upset about something, and then Thanos is also like fighting back, and he reveals that, Gamora's dead, he killed her. So Star-Lord gets pissed, and this is one of my main complaints with the movie, is that there are a couple moments throughout the film that just feel like the characters are acting this way so that the plot furthers along. Yeah. But it's like really apparent, and like the scene like this, where Star-Lord gets mad, and they're like, dude, relax, like, we're about to get his glove off. Like, it is literally the fate of the universe. And Star-Lord is just like, no, and just, starts punching him, ruins it. They don't get the glove off, and
it's like right there.
And it rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm like, really, would Star-Lord fucking do that, knowing the stakes and what's going on? Would he really do that?
I get the excuse of, he was triggered, like his...
Right.
Gamora's dead, but...
And there's definitely a moment later that we'll talk about that also the same thing happens. Thanos finally has enough and starts sending a moon to, he's somehow controlling the moon, pulling it towards the planet, shooting meteors.
I mean, we've seen the still, but it's still so awesome, just the face and the...
Yeah, a lot of great imagery in this movie. And
again, like you're reading a comic.
And I criticized Thanos' look heavily when the trailers were out. I was like, he looks like Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars. He looks like Homer Simpson.
I didn't hear that.
That's just what I thought. Like, I mean, I did end up seeing some memes about that, but like the Thanos memes were real. But throughout the movie, I was like, you know what? I don't mind his design, except for one thing, Connor. Did you notice? And I brought this up to you before. He has stubble in his head.
Once you pointed it out, I was like looking for it, and I didn't notice till about halfway through, and I was like, oh man, where does he find the time?
Where does Thanos find the time to shave his head? And what does Thanos look like with hair? These are things I need to know.
And then also, does that mean this thing is a beard, or...
Right, like, I just have so many questions about his daily routine.
There is a bit of a Homer Simpson-ish thing there.
Yeah, it's weird. I did like Star-Lord's insult, calling him, like, Grimace and then the ballsack chin.
Yeah.
I more so thought that Thanos looked like a California raisin. But, that's just me. He gets the glove back on. He's having some one-off battles. Doctor Strange creates copies of himself in a really cool moment.
I'm not gonna lie, the moment was cool, but I also, the second the arms went like this, and there were like 12 arms, I lost it.
It was funny.
It's just funny looking. Like, I was like, it's very trippy.
It was a silly, but it was a good cosmic Marvel moment.
No, I loved it. It's funny.
Yeah.
Like at first glance.
Yeah, and of course Thanos doesn't fall for that. He also tries to rope him in with like his magical ropes. Thanos breaks free from that because he's OP. He has a battle with Tony, and bit by bit he's like crushing Tony's... He's like pulling bits of Tony's armor off.
That also reminds you of... it's like less degrading, and it's obviously higher stakes, but it reminded me of the sewer fight in Dark Knight Rises almost.
Yeah. He's just being picked apart.
No chance, but Tony is like doing everything he can. The swords come out.
Yeah.
Like,
which I do like. I kind of like that Tony is sort of like he's sort of like the liquid cop.
Yeah.
From Terminator 2. And so then Tony gets stabbed, and it's a fake out moment, but I was like, they're going there.
I thought that was it.
Yeah.
I really, really believed that was it.
Especially when he's like spits the blood out of his mouth. I was like,
and
wow.
Thanos is like massaging his head.
Yeah.
He's like, you have my respect, Star.
I was like, this is really the end, and I was about to start cheering and being like, Marvel is awesome, but of course, He doesn't die. Which Thanos is about to kill him. But then, of course, another really, again, stupid moment to just further the plot where Doctor Strange trades the Time Stone for Tony's life.
Which, I mean, because there's that whole point where he says, however many, million outcomes and one where they win.
Yeah.
So clearly Tony needs to be alive for that one outcome. Like, that's the outcome he saw where he has to trade the Time Stone for that. But I agree with you completely, but I also,
yeah,
it's in there, like,
right. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not, like, super mad about it, but I was just like, really?
I also just think, though, like, what a way to go for that character.
Yeah.
It
would have been epic and I think that part 2 will have either Tony or Cap bite the dust.
One of them's, yeah.
I don't know who.
I think, though, moving forward, I honestly don't see Thor. I think Thor is going to be, like, the leadership of the next team.
I could see it. So, the rest of the Avengers, everyone's been bested, everyone's beaten, bloodied, bruised, and Thanos teleports himself back to Earth.
We did not even talk about Thor's appearance on Wakanda.
No. Well, that hasn't happened yet.
Oh,
We're getting there.
Oh, gotcha.
So Thanos teleports back to Earth. Now, back on Wakanda, Corvus sneaks up on Vision, tries to remove the stone while... What'd you say her name was? The character name? Black Panther's little sister?
Oh, Shuri.
She's doing, like, some AI stuff where she's, like, removing every single strand individually. Corvus sneaks up. Of course, you thought he was dead a little bit earlier. And Vision starts fighting. They fight each other, and Vision stabs Corvus.
Yeah.
Finally kills him. And then Thanos is on his way, and Scarlet Witch has to use her power to destroy the stone and Vision at the same time. Well, I guess we did skip a little bit.
We did.
Yeah. Thor has a big pop moment when he comes back to Earth, and it's awesome.
Like, there was an eruption for Cap's appearance, but that, especially...
The Avengers theme starts playing, too.
I did not realize how much in Age of Ultron I missed that score.
Yeah.
And then when it plays there, it's like... Oh my god.
It was another straight up chills moment.
Yeah.
I was just like...
But also the imagery of Thor, he's got Rocket on his shoulder, Groot next to him, Rocket jumps off.
I love the scene where they're spinning around. I was like, yes.
And also Thor is so fucking powerful. And when Thor just screams, because all the Avengers look at him, they're like, oh fuck yes. And he's like, bring me Thanos! And like, you're like, he lights up, and Thor can fly without spinning anything now. He's just fucking... Like, he's good.
It's awesome, though. It's really awesome.
Because Cap's getting his ass beat, Black Panther's being trampled. Like,
yeah.
they're all...
Everyone's struggling.
And then you see the axe come flying through, and just when the Bifrost... It's like, and then that's Thor's power now. He can control the Bifrost. That's cool.
Totally awesome.
There's a lot of stuff that I was worried about being lost in Thor Ragnarok that just this movie's like, no, trust me, we're good.
Yeah. So... Anyways, now Scarlet Witch has to actually kill Vision, destroy the stone, which will also kill Vision.
Which is fucked up.
Yeah. And Thanos arrives conveniently, like, right next to them.
Yeah.
Which I was like, hey, he picked the right place to teleport to. And Cap briefly holds him off. You see that moment in the trailer where he's just holding his hand, and you're like, what's Cap trying to do?
Yeah.
Like, what's he really gonna do?
But... Honestly, I love, like, every Avenger that's there does have their moment with it, except Banner doesn't fight Thanos.
Yeah.
But, like, when honestly, that, just, the fact that Cap gets a couple licks in it all is cool.
Right.
But then, clearly he breaks the fucking shields on him, because he doesn't have those during that moment. Like,
right.
I don't know, it's just, that the desperation of that scene, it's like there's no fucking win.
Yeah, and then Scarlet Witch actually kills Vision
while holding off Thanos.
Yeah, and kills Vision, destroys the stone. But of course, you're just like at first I was like, wow, like they did it.
Yeah,
like that's the end of the movie, I guess. And then Thanos is just like, nope, I've got the Time Stone now.
But also, like, he shows her like empathy.
Yeah,
I know what you had to go through. Like, he understood because of what he just did with Gamora. And again, it's just that chilling. Like, he's a very charismatic, creepy bastard.
Yeah, like he's a really good villain.
Yeah.
So Thanos rewinds time,
and
then, like we've predicted, since the moment we thought Thanos was coming, Thanos just rips that shit out of Vision's head, and it is an awesome and brutal scene.
Well, especially because Vision, like, he just went through 2 brutal deaths back to back. And poor Wanda, like, she carries the weight of having done it, and then it didn't work. Like, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So she has the guilt of having killed, like, oh, it's fucked up.
And so, of course, Thanos now has all 6 Infinity Stones in his gauntlet.
And then there's that brief moment of hope.
Yep, and you're just like, out of nowhere, Thor comes, throws that fucking axe straight into Thanos.
And it's so bad. Like, and like, Thanos is, like, trying to, like, he sees it, he tries to stop it with the gauntlet. It just does nothing. It's cutting through it like nothing.
And then you get the badass line where Thanos is like, should have went for the head.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's not over!
But I was like, so, like, for a second, like Thor's like, I told you, die for that. And he fucking pushes it in further, and you're like, oh!
Yeah.
Wait, that sounds fucked up.
That's amazing.
But
either way.
Yeah, you should have gone for the head. Yeah. Oh god, it's so fucking epic.
Yeah, but Thor realizes something bad has happened, and he's like, what did you do?
Yeah.
And Thanos teleports away, and then it cuts back to Cap, and he's approaching. He's like gaining his strength back, and then Bucky's like, he's the first one you see, and he's like, Steve, what's happening? And he turns into dust.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh shit. And then it is literally Bucky, Black Panther, Mantis, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Drax, Doctor Strange, Groot, all turn to ash.
Falcon.
All of them turn to ash.
Basically, all that's left are like the original Avengers and Rhodey.
Which, of course, is sort of something that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because they're coming back. Black Panther 2's already been announced.
Right.
Spider-Man Homecoming 2's already been announced.
There's going to be a next generation of the team.
But it was genuine, like when Peter...
Yeah.
When Peter started going, I was like...
Oh, my girlfriend cried during that. Like, she was just like, no.
Yeah, and I mean, you knew he was coming back, but just the way it was portrayed, and he's like, I don't want to go, and you're just like, fuck, he's just a kid, man, he's just a kid.
Oh, and it's like, I mean, Stark, I don't feel, he keeps calling him Mr. Stark, which makes it worse somehow. I don't want to go. Like, I don't feel so good. And he just dies, and like Tony's like cradling him in his arms,
and you're just like,
and it's like a character who already freaks out about like survival, like, right? So the ultimate survival goat, right? Because in Age of Ultron, that's what spurs everything. He sees all of his teammates dead.
Right.
That's what causes him to make Ultron. And then he should be dead. He was just stabbed by Thanos.
Right.
His life was spared. And then everyone around him, he's the only one left on Titan. Everyone else is dead.
Nebula.
Oh, Nebula's still there.
Yeah, Nebula is still there, but of course, how are they gonna get along?
Yeah.
Like Nebula and Iron Man, that's gonna be a really weird team up. And then the movie ends with us.
We end up shipping that like later.
Some nice fan art's coming.
I run a Tumblr dedicated to Nebula and Iron Man.
Iron Nebula. Anyway, the movie ends with us seeing Thanos on a different planet. It's not specified.
On a fucking farm.
His big axe wound is healed, but his arm is all messed up, and the gauntlet is destroyed. Mm-hmm. And the movie just ends with him giving a nice smirk.
But before that, you have the shot of him talking to Child Gamora, and she's like, "What did it cost?" And he says, "Everything." And it's like really, Thanos is an interesting character.
Yeah, he is. I still do think that Thanos is just a little underdeveloped for him being basically 6 years in the making. Yeah. I feel like maybe we should have got a little bit more.
Can I also just say how glad I am that Thanos looks nothing like he does in the end credits of Avengers?
See, I mean, like, I would prefer a more classic look, but at the same time, like, I ended up not minding the way he looks in the movie.
It's not about the classic, to me, it just looks better.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like, he's kind of got, like, he looks like Josh Brolin now.
Yeah.
Instead of looking like they were just like a guy with really heavy. He looked like the villain of VR Troopers.
Damn, the theme song is stuck in my head now. VR.
And that's the end of the movie.
There's the cool end. There's like the one end credit scene.
Which let's talk about that, and then we'll kind of wrap.
Well, I will say before we get to that, just the absolute silence in the theater.
Oh, dude. I didn't watch the movie with an audience, but I was in there for the first show to end, and the crowd was dead silent.
There's no dry eye in the house.
Like, it was insane. Not a single applause, just everyone. And that was like.
I heard that, and it's like funny, it's like you and I know there's going to be another Spider-Man, there's going to be another Black Panther. But I hear people talking, they're like, so is there not going to be a Black Panther 2? Like, people, like, buying it, you know? Like, you forget, like, we're so, like, just caught up in this shit that, like, we're like, no, there's no, like...
Right, there's no way. And it's comic books. Like,
yeah.
If you've ever read a comic book, no one is ever dead. Uncle Ben is, like, the only one. Not even...
He's come back a couple times, right?
Even a couple times.
But not for long.
So there's only one after credit scene, which I thought was pretty cool. At first, I thought there was going to be nothing. I was like, that would be the most earth-shattering thing ever if they were just like, no end credit scene. Because the first one, you get the mid-credits, and then you get the end. And the mid-credits came, and it was just the title, and I was like, wow. I was like, maybe there's nothing.
Just the idea of leaving it with just, like, without hope.
That'd be amazing. Yeah. But, I mean... I guess you kind of have to tease something,
and it's their trademark.
Yeah,
I mean, like I never expect
Marvel fanboys would complain.
Yeah,
they'd be like, "Really, no end credit scene."
And what's funny though is what we got. Like,
yeah, so it cuts to Maria Hill and Nick Fury. They're driving along in presumably New York, and they almost get in a car accident.
Also, the idea that they show like the stakes of if half the population disappears,
right.
Car accidents,
plane
crashing, like, which it's always fucked up imagery, no matter what. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. So, Maria gets out. She comes around, looks at the car. There's no one in there, and then they see the helicopter crash into the building, and then she's like, Nick, and turns to ash. And then some random guy turns in the background. You see Nick Fury grab something out of the car.
Ancient technology, and then as he's starting to disappear, you get a really cheap laugh moment out of Samuel L. Jackson almost saying motherfucker, because of course Samuel L. Jackson says motherfucker. Like it's a cheap moment, but I'm still like, it's Samuel L. Jackson saying
I agree, but it is such a cheap laugh. I was like, it's like, really? You could have done something a little better. He turns to Ash, drops the thing that he was sending a message to someone, and of course it's revealed to be Captain Marvel! Which I've seen a lot of people being like, who?
Yeah, no, it's...
And I was like, really? Captain Marvel's that obscure?
And I'm very excited. I mean, they got a very talented actress.
Man, Brie Larson?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That movie... Because that comes before the next Avengers, correct?
See, I thought it was coming after, but I've also been hearing people... I don't know off the top of my head.
It takes place in the 90s, and Nick Fury is in it.
Right.
But I think that comes before.
Either way.
And I'm very, very excited, and I'm like... Yeah, no, that's... Talking about, like, the next generation of Avengers, I think... And that's the thing about this movie, right? Especially the way it ends. I know we were very worried about it being overcrowded, and there's no way you can do a satisfying arc. So what did they do? They're like, well, no, this is Thanos' story.
Right.
Everyone else is a supporting cast.
Yep.
And then the next movie, they know how to do a movie with the core team. So that it's like clearly it's gonna be their story, figuring out how to fucking undo it or do something.
Right.
That's clearly why they're all that's left.
Yeah.
But I think that there's going to be something, some sacrifices made, and then they pass it off to the new team, the people they save, the people they bring back,
Right.
Avengers look very different after Avengers 4, is my theory.
I definitely agree. We'll definitely get sort of like a new Avengers vibe from them.
But I still concur that because Thor's just been so revitalized in such a big way, I don't think Thor's going anywhere. It's going to be Iron Man and Cap.
Yeah. So overall, I would have to say that the movie for me was very enjoyable. I felt good watching the movie. I was like, wow, I'm having fun watching a Marvel movie. I liked that it wasn't such a cookie cutter movie.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Marvel movies just are the same exact thing over and over again.
Well, it's a very tired cliche, right? And this is the 19th movie.
Right.
But this was, of the MCU, this was The Empire Strikes Back.
I think so.
I think this is, people expected that or wanted that from Age of Ultron.
Yeah. But it wasn't. And I don't think Age of Ultron really holds the test of time.
I still like it.
I still like it too.
But, I mean, compared to this movie, there's no stakes, there's no...
Right.
There are a lot of moments that I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's a fun watch.
Right. And the stakes in that movie are character you just met dies. Who cares?
Yeah.
So
did you not see that coming?
But overall, I felt like this movie was pretty refreshing. I liked Thanos. I wish we could have gotten a little bit more development out of him before this movie. Mm-hmm. But I was surprised.
How many appearances? I mean, I'm not even counting the first in Avengers. Like, he's in the first Guardians.
Yeah, and then at the end of
Age of Ultron, he says, "I'll do it myself."
Yeah, fine, I'll do it myself, and that's pretty much it. And that's all that. So I would have liked to see a little bit more development of him over time. But I do like the development we got, and I think it's easily the best character development, the best villain we've gotten out of any Marvel villains, because obviously Marvel has had a villain problem for a very long time.
Yeah.
I also really liked the way that
this might be the first time that like the villain and I mean, not because because even Ultron kind of stems from Iron Man. Like, it's the first time the villain is not just the negative of the hero,
right?
Or the heroes, you know.
He's got a sympathetic side to him. He's not just a one-dimensional bad guy or a one-dimensional bad guy that makes quippy jokes, which is what every other Marvel villain has been.
Yeah.
Even though the CG was uneven in a lot of places, specifically at the end of the movie when Rhodey is walking up after everything bad has happened, the floating head syndrome is so bad.
Mark Ruffalo at the end, I mean, like, that looked pretty bad.
Yeah. But overall, I thought the movie's pacing was really good, especially for it being so long and having so much going on. The movie flew by.
Yeah,
definitely. It was a breeze, and I felt like the characters that they all divided in, like the groups they divided into.
Yeah, the combinations were great.
It was unorthodox, but then you were like, this makes sense. Like
I said, I could do a whole trilogy of Thor, Rocket, and Groot.
That'd be great. I would be game for that.
As Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dude, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. What if Thor's just on the team?
To me, that's... I'm all about it.
Dude, I think it could happen. So, closing statements, Connor. Closing thoughts of the movie overall.
Just, it left me... I was with you on. I was silent. I was, speechless. I felt like I just gotten beaten, but in like a good way.
It's a good beating.
It hurts so good.
I feel these emotions. I'm a human.
No, I think, definitely worth... I'm going to go back again. I'm going to see it at least one more time, probably two more times in theaters. Because I think it's worth... I'm actually going to go IMAX next time, I believe.
I caught it in IMAX. That's what I watched it in. It's full screen the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not like...
The whole thing was shot in IMAX.
Yeah, it's not like those movies where it's like filmed with IMAX cameras and then it's 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
The whole movie is the full screen.
Yeah.
Which I was like, this is awesome. And something else that's a little different. In IMAX specifically, the camera is more zoomed out. Like, of the actual movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, like, you see more of the movie.
Interesting.
If you watch the IMAX version. Okay. It's crazy.
You just got the craziest look in your eyes as you said that.
Because it's awesome.
No.
It's like the one time that watching something in IMAX is worth a shit.
Like, mattered.
Yeah, like...
So I think definitely... I can't wait for the next one. It kind of sucks because Ant-Man and the Wasp is the next movie on the roster. Mm-hmm. And I'm just... It's like... I was excited for the movie before, but I just kind of don't give a shit because I just want to get to the next installment in Avengers.
See, I was also like Ant-Man and Wasp. I couldn't give a shit less, but now I'm like, I want to see Ant-Man and Wasp, even though I know it's not going to have anything to do with this movie. It's like I said, this movie has just sort of revitalized my interest in watching Marvel movies again. And of course, Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd. Yeah. We both really enjoyed the movie. Justin enjoyed the movie. If you caught his review, we're not really going to give a number score because that's not really our thing anymore.
I'm just going to go like this.
We're just going to tell you whether to see it or not. You probably already saw it. This is a pretty late spoiler review in all honesty.
Honestly, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
The more people who had a chance to see it, the better I feel about putting a spoiler review out.
And we've got our thoughts together. We've had some time to marinate. To something like The Last Jedi, which this is a little outside. Like, we shot that right after we saw the movie. So we were all high on Star Wars.
Which, as you all know, it's very easy to get that way.
Yeah.
With Star Wars specifically.
And then we all went like this with The Last Jedi. So it just goes to show you that maybe you should wait a little bit to do some reviews so you can have some time to think and process your thoughts. But this movie is definitely a great time. It's worth your time. I would say, though, if you're not a Marvel fan, like at all, this movie's not for you.
Definitely have seen something before this. Like, build up the stakes a little bit.
Right, because if you see this movie out of context, you're just going to be like, okay, why do I care?
Yeah.
So I definitely would say at least watching Avengers 1 and Age of Ultron would be okay. You'll miss some stuff out of Civil War, but at the end of the day, you'll pretty much have the gist of it.
I agree.
So, yeah. We recommend Infinity War, of course. What did you guys think of Infinity War? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. If we get 10 subscribers from this video, Connor said he's going to make Connor Who finally. He didn't know that, but I just told him that. So 10 subs from this review alone, and Connor becomes... he does a Doctor Who show. That's not actually going to happen. Don't hold your breath on that one. Of course, I've been joined with Connor. Thank you so much for coming back. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, but hey, good to be back.
There's going to be big superhero movies coming out, so you're gonna be here for the Deadpool 2 review. You'll be here for the Solo review. You guys are going to get a lot of Connor time.
I don't know if you'll be here for the Solo review, but
you won't.
I don't know.
You don't think you're going to see it?
I don't know,
dude. You got to see it.
It looks painful.
It does look painful. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. We will see you next time on Out of the Basement.